Zola Bryant learned 3 rules when she started working the graveyard shift at Atlanta Memorial. Don't ask questions about the men who arrive at 3 a.m. with bullet wounds. Don't look at their tattoos. And never, ever, open the door to room 714. She followed those rules for 2 years. Kept her head down, clocked in, clocked out, collected her paycheck and went home to her daughter. Tonight was supposed to be the same. But tonight, Amani's babysitter cancelled. Tonight, Zola got a text from an unknown number that made her hands shake. Tonight, she brought her 5-year-old to work and tucked her into the breakroom couch with her favorite blanket and a promise to check on her every hour. And tonight, at 3:47 a.m., Zola needed sutures from the supply closet on the 7th floor. The hallway was empty, quiet. Her sneakers squeaked against the tile. Room 712, room 713. She reached for the supply closet door. Turned the handle. Wrong room. The door swung open and her whole life cracked in half. He was on the table, shirtless, bleeding from a wound in his side that should have killed him already. His back was covered in scars, old ones, layered like a map of pain. A dragon tattoo crawled up his spine, disappearing into his shoulder blade. And there, burned into his skin, was a mark she didn't recognize. But she recognized the men surrounding him. 4 of them, armed, dangerous, the kind of men who made witnesses disappear. Their guns came up fast. Zola stumbled backward. Her heart slammed against her ribs. Every instinct screamed at her to run, but her legs wouldn't move. Then he spoke. Stop. 1 word. Quiet. But it cut through the chaos like a blade. The guns lowered. Kang Joon-ho lifted his head. Dark eyes found hers. Not angry. Not panicked. Hungry. Like she was something he'd been waiting for. You shouldn't have seen this, he said. His voice was calm, almost soft. Now I can't let you leave. Zola's throat tightened. I have a daughter. She's sleeping downstairs. Please. I know. 2 words. And they destroyed her. He knew about Amani. Knew where she was. Knew everything. Room 302, he continued. Blue couch. Pink blanket. She talks in her sleep. Zola couldn't breathe. The door behind her opened. An older man in a white coat stepped inside. Director Chen, the hospital administrator. He looked at Zola, then at Joon-ho, then back at her. Ah, Chen said, smiling like this was a business meeting. Perfect timing. She's exactly what you need. Joon-ho's eyes never left hers. Yes, he said quietly. She is. A single mom, a bleeding mafia boss, and a daughter sleeping 3 floors below, with no idea what's coming. Zola just walked into a nightmare she can't escape. If you're already hooked, subscribe now. Because what he wants from her. You won't believe it until you hear it. And if you're not subscribing yet, tell me why in the comments. I'll wait. Zola's hands moved on instinct. She didn't have a choice. Joon-ho was bleeding out. His men had guns. And Amani was 3 floors below, sleeping through the worst night of her mother's life. So Zola did what she'd trained 10 years to do. She saved him. The bullet had lodged near his kidney. Another inch to the left and he'd be dead already. She worked fast, cutting, extracting, stitching. Her hands stayed steady even when her mind screamed at her to run. Chen watched from the corner, smiling, like this was entertainment. 2 hours later, it was done. Zola stepped back from the table. Her scrubs were soaked with his blood. Her arms ached. Her legs felt like they might collapse. Joon-ho lay unconscious, breathing, alive. Because of her, a man appeared at her side. Tall, cold eyes, a scar running from his temple to his jaw. Kwon Tae Sung. She'd heard the others call him that. He held out a phone. Call whoever watches your daughter, he said. Tell them you're working a double shift. Zola stared at the phone. For how long? Until he decides you're no longer useful. Her stomach dropped. But she took the phone. Dialed her neighbor Mrs. Patterson. Lied through her teeth about an emergency at work. The lie came too easy. That scared her more than anything. When she hung up, Tae Sung took the phone back. Smart, he said. Cooperation keeps people alive. Zola wanted to spit in his face. Instead, she stayed quiet. 3 hours passed. Dawn crept through the hospital windows. Zola sat in a chair in the corner, exhausted but unable to sleep. Then Joon-ho's eyes opened. He didn't groan, didn't panic, just turned his head until he found her. Where is she? He asked. Zola's blood went cold. Who? Your daughter. Is she still in the break room? How do you answer the question? Yes, she's still there. Jun-ho nodded slowly. Then he looked at Tae-sung. Bring her here, gently. Get her blanket, the pink one, and find food she'll actually eat, not vending machine garbage. Tae-sung's jaw tightened. But he left without argument. Zola stood up fast. You're not touching her. I'm not going to hurt her. You just sent armed men to collect my child. Jun-ho sat up slowly. Winced. Met her eyes with something that almost looked like patience. I don't hurt children. Ever. That's a line I've never crossed. Then why? Because you need to believe I might. His voice dropped. Fear keeps people obedient. And right now, I need you obedient. Understood? Zola's fists clenched. You're a monster. Yes. He didn't flinch. But I'm the monster who's going to keep you alive. So sit down. Rest. You'll need your strength. She didn't sit. But she didn't run either. Because where would she go? He had her daughter. He had her trapped. And then her phone buzzed. Not the hospital phone. Her personal phone. The one nobody had the number to. Unknown number. One text. I know you're in Atlanta. I'm coming for what's mine. D. Darnell. Her ex. Amani's father. The man she'd been hiding from for 5 years. The man she'd helped get away with murder. Zola looked at Jun-ho. Then at her phone. She wasn't trapped with one predator anymore. She was caught between two. The safe house looked like a dream. Gated entrance. Private security. A kitchen bigger than Zola's entire apartment. Fresh flowers on every table like someone actually lived here. But Zola knew better. A beautiful cage is still a cage. 3 days had passed since that night in room 714. 3 days of armed guards at every door. 3 days of watching Jun-ho recover faster than any man should. Amani thought it was a vacation. Mommy, this place has a pool. I see that, baby. Can we stay forever? Zola's chest tightened. We'll see. She let Amani believe the lie. Let her splash in the pool and eat snacks from a pantry stocked with everything a child could want. Let her stay innocent for as long as possible. Meanwhile, Zola counted exits. Watched guard rotations. Planned escapes she knew would fail. On the third night, she changed Jun-ho's bandages. He sat shirtless on the edge of his bed. Silent. Still. Letting her work. Up close, the damage was worse than she'd realized. Scars layered over scars. Burns. Cuts. Things that looked like cigarette marks. And that brand on his shoulder. The one she'd seen that first night. You're staring, he said. I'm assessing. You're curious. She didn't deny it. Jun-ho glanced at the brand. This is what they give to property. I was 19 when they burned it into me. Zola's hands paused. Property? I belonged to them for 3 years. Until I became more valuable standing than kneeling. She didn't know what to say. This man, this monster who controlled her life, had once been someone's slave. Why did you stay? She asked quietly. After you were free, why stay in that world? His jaw tightened. Because they had something I needed to find. He didn't explain further, but she saw it in his eyes. Grief. Old and heavy. The kind that never heals. She finished the bandages in silence. Later that night, Zola couldn't sleep. She sat in the kitchen, scrolling through news on a tablet one of the guards had given her. Trying to understand the world she'd fallen into. Baek-ho Syndicate. That was Jun-ho's organization. Korean. Powerful. Expanding across the south. And their enemy? Black Titan Crew. Zola's blood turned to ice. She knew that name. Black Titan was Darnell's crew. The people he ran with before prison. The people who helped him do the things she'd tried to forget. She scrolled faster. Found a photo. A leadership lineup from a federal indictment 2 years ago. 3rd row. 2nd from the left. Darnell Vincent. Listed as a lieutenant. Zola dropped the tablet. This wasn't coincidence. It couldn't be. The man hunting her worked for the people trying to kill Jun-ho. Her past and her present had just collided. Footsteps behind her. Jun-ho's voice. Whatever you just figured out, I suggest you tell me. Before it gets us both killed. She's trapped with a mafia boss who used to be a slave. Her ex works for the enemy trying to kill him. And now both worlds are about to crash together. Here's the real question. Should Zola tell Jun-ho the truth about Darnell? Or keep her secret and hope he never finds out? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to know what you would do. And if you're not subscribed yet, you're about to miss the moment everything explodes. Zola told him everything. She didn't plan to, but standing in that kitchen at 2 a.m., with Junho's eyes cutting through her like he could already see the truth, she broke. Darnell Vincent, she said. He's my ex. Amani's father. Junho's expression didn't change. Keep going. So she did. She told him about meeting Darnell at 22. How charming he was. How he made her feel special. Protected. Loved. She told him how the charm turned to control. How the protection turned to prison. How the love turned to fear. I got pregnant, Zola said. I thought a baby would change him. Make him softer. She laughed bitterly. Stupid, right? Junho said nothing. Just listened. One night, I came home early. Found him standing over a body in our living room. A man I'd never seen before. Blood everywhere. Her voice cracked. But she kept going. Darnell told me to say I was with him all night. That if I didn't, he'd make sure I never saw my baby. She swallowed hard. So I lied. Told the police we were home watching movies. The case went cold. He walked free. And you ran. Not right away. I stayed until Amani was born. Then I packed a bag, took my daughter, and disappeared. She met his eyes. 5 years. 5 years of hiding. New city. New name on my lease. Cash jobs until I could get legitimate. And now he's found you. He works for Black Titan. Your enemies. Zola's hands shook. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know any of this was connected. Silence stretched between them. Zola waited for the anger. The accusations. The punishment. Instead, Junho said, you survived. You protected your child. You lied to stay alive. That doesn't make it right. It makes it human. His voice was quiet. Heavy. The people who judge survivors have never had to survive anything. Zola stared at him. This wasn't the response she expected. I had a sister, Junho said. Sue Min. She was 17 when they took her. Zola's breath caught. Trafficked. Sold to men who, he stopped. Started again. I was 19. Powerless. So I joined the very organization that took her. Clawed my way up through blood and bodies. Spent 8 years searching. Did you find her? I found her grave. The words hung in the air. Raw. Broken. Zola understood now. The scars. The brand. The emptiness behind his eyes. He wasn't just a monster. He was a ghost. Haunted by someone he couldn't save. I'm sorry, she whispered. Don't be. Sorry doesn't bring her back. He looked at her. But destroying the people who took her? That I can do. Is that why you're still in this life? I'm burning them from inside. They think I'm loyal. They think I'm their weapon. His jaw tightened. I'm their bomb. And one day, I'm going to detonate. Zola saw it then. The fire beneath the ice. 2 broken people. Both carrying guilt. Both hiding from ghosts. Why are you telling me this? She asked. Junho stepped closer. Close enough that she could see the flecks of gold in his dark eyes. Because ghosts recognize ghosts, he said. And you're the first person who's looked at me like I'm still human. 1 week in the safe house. 7 days of shared meals. Quiet conversations. Watching Amani teach Junho how to draw purple dragons. 7 nights of Zola pretending she didn't feel the heat every time he looked at her. But tonight, she couldn't pretend anymore. Amani was asleep. The guards were stationed outside. And Zola found herself walking toward the balcony where Junho stood alone. Shirtless. Staring at the Atlanta skyline. Moonlight tracing the scars on his back. She should turn around. Go back to her room. Keep the walls up. She didn't. You should be resting, she said. I don't sleep well. The wound? The ghosts. She stood beside him. Close. Too close. The night air was cool against her skin. She wore only a thin robe over her clothes. There's something I haven't told you, Junho said quietly. Zola tensed. What? You being at that hospital. It wasn't an accident. Her stomach dropped. What do you mean? Director Chen suggested you. Said you were desperate. Hiding from someone. That you'd do anything to stay invisible. He turned to face her. I needed a physician I could control. Someone with no connections. No one who'd come looking. The words hit like a slap. You chose me. I intended to use you. Yes. And now? He stepped closer. So close she could feel the heat radiating off his skin. Now I don't know what to do with you. His voice dropped. You were supposed to be a tool. Not a what? His hand came up. Slow. Deliberate. His fingers traced the line of her jaw. Gentle, almost reverent. Zola's breath caught. "If I kiss you right now," he said, voice low and rough, "I won't be able to stop at a kiss." Her heart slammed against her ribs. "Who says I want you to stop?" Something flickered in his eyes. Hunger, need, and underneath it, fear. "I do." He dropped his hand, stepped back. The distance between them felt like a wound. "Because you deserve more than a man who might be dead in a week." "And if you're not dead? Then ask me again." Zola wanted to argue, wanted to close the gap and take what they both wanted. But before she could speak, boom, the explosion rocked the building. Gunfire erupted somewhere below, shouting, glass shattering. Jun-ho moved instantly, grabbed her arm, pulled her inside. "They found us," he said. "Get Amani, now." Zola ran. Her daughter was already awake, sitting up in bed, eyes wide with terror. "Mommy? Come here, baby. We have to go." She scooped Amani into her arms. The child clung to her neck. Silent, shaking, Jun-ho appeared in the doorway. Blood on his shirt. His wound had reopened. "Stay behind me," he ordered. "You're bleeding." "I'll bleed later. Move." They ran through smoke and chaos. Bodies on the floor. Jun-ho's men fighting, dying. They reached the garage. An armored vehicle waited. Jun-ho drove with one hand, the other pressed against his side. Amani buried her face in Zola's chest. "How did they find us?" Zola demanded. Jun-ho's jaw tightened. "Someone told them. Someone close. A traitor. Inside his own organization." The war had just become a hunt. The warehouse smelled like rust and gunpowder. But it was safe. For now. Zola laid Amani on a makeshift bed in the corner. Covered her with a blanket one of Jun-ho's men had found. Watched her daughter's eyes flutter closed. She'd been so brave. Too brave for a 5-year-old. No child should know what gunfire sounds like. Zola turned to find Jun-ho slumped against the wall. Pale, sweating, his shirt soaked with fresh blood. "Sit down," she ordered. Now. He didn't argue. She gathered supplies, cut away his shirt. The stitches had torn open. The wound gaped angry and red. "This is going to hurt," she said. "Everything hurts. Just do it." She worked in silence, cleaning, stitching, her hands steady even though her heart wasn't. When she finished, she sat back, exhausted, empty. Jun-ho reached out, took her hand, just held it. "Thank you," he said quietly. "For what?" "For not leaving when you could have." "I couldn't leave. Amani was. You could have." "During the attack, there was a window. You ran past it." Zola paused. He was right. She'd seen the exit, hadn't even considered taking it. "Why didn't you run?" he asked. She didn't have an answer. Or maybe she did, and it scared her too much to say it out loud. Footsteps approached. Tae Sung entered. His face was hard, cold. "We lost 6 men. The safe house is gone." "How did they find us?" Jun-ho asked. "Only 3 people knew that location. You, me, Director Chen." Zola spoke before she could stop herself. "Chen recommended me, said I was controllable. What if he's been playing both sides?" Tae Sung's eyes flickered to her. And she saw it. Not surprise, not suspicion, relief, like she'd just taken the blame off someone else. Zola filed it away, said nothing. Jun-ho nodded slowly. "Put surveillance on Chen. I want to know everyone he talks to." Tae Sung left without another word. Later that night, Zola checked on Amani. She found Jun-ho already there, sitting in a chair beside the bed, watching her daughter sleep, the purple dragon drawing clutched in his hand. "What are you doing?" Zola whispered. "Making sure she's safe." "From what?" He looked up, and she saw something she'd never seen in him before. "Fear. From what I'm about to become," he said. "The war is escalating. The things I'll have to do to end it." He shook his head. "I don't want her to see me after." "After what?" "After I stop pretending to be human." Zola knelt beside him, took his face in her hands, made him look at her. "You sat here all night, holding a drawing my daughter made you, watching over her like she matters." "She does matter." "Then you haven't stopped being human, Jun-ho." Her voice broke. "You've just forgotten what it feels like." His hand covered hers, warm, trembling. "Remind me," he whispered. "When this is over, remind me who I was before the war." "I will." A promise, made in the dark, over a sleeping child. And for the first time, Zola believed they might actually survive this. We've all been watching Jun-ho transform. From captor to protector. From monster to something almost human. But war changes people. And what's coming next will test everything, his loyalty, her trust, and a little girl caught in the middle. If you're still here, you're part of this story now. We're in this together. Subscribe and stay with us. Because the traitor hasn't been caught yet. And when the truth comes out, someone we care about is going to bleed. The trap was set. False information fed to Chen about a new safe house location. If Black Titan showed up there, they'd know he was the leak. Now they waited. Zola couldn't sleep. Too much adrenaline. Too many thoughts. Too much of him in her head. She found Jun-ho on the warehouse roof. Alone. Staring at the city lights spread below them like scattered diamonds. You should rest, she said. So should you. I tried. My brain won't shut off. He glanced at her. Then don't sleep. Just stay. She stood beside him, shoulder to shoulder, the warmth of his body against the cold night air. If tomorrow goes wrong, he started. It won't. If it does. His voice was steady, final. There's money in a safe. Papers. New identities. Tae Sung knows where. Take Amani and disappear. I'm not leaving you, Zola. I spent 5 years running. I'm done. She turned to face him. Whatever happens tomorrow, I face it. With you. Something shifted in his expression. The walls cracking. The ice melting. You make me want things I have no right to want, he said quietly. Like what? A future. Something beyond revenge. He stepped closer. Something that isn't blood and ghosts and war. Then take it. I don't know how. Zola reached up, cupped his face in her hands. Felt the rough stubble against her palms. The tension in his jaw. Start with this, she whispered. She kissed him, not gentle, not tentative, a kiss that said everything words couldn't. I see what you are. I choose you anyway. He responded like a man drowning. One hand in her hair, the other at the small of her back, pulling her closer, closer, until there was no space left between them. Heat and hunger and something deeper. Something desperate. When they broke apart, both gasping, he pressed his forehead to hers. If we do this, he said, voice rough, there's no going back. You'll be part of my world. The danger, the blood, all of it. I've been part of it since I opened that door. This is different. I know. She took his hand, placed it over her heart. Let him feel it pounding. I'm still here. I'm still choosing this. He led her inside, to his room. The door closed behind them. What happened next wasn't rough. Wasn't rushed. It was reverent. His hands on her skin like she was something precious. Something he was terrified to break. Her name on his lips like a prayer. The weight of him above her. The safety of being held by someone strong enough to carry her storm. And later, in the quiet dark, his voice against her ear, whatever happens tomorrow. Know that you changed everything. She fell asleep in his arms. The first peaceful sleep in 5 years. Morning came too fast. Zola woke alone. Cold sheets beside her. A note on the pillow. The trap worked. Chen is confirmed. Stay here. I'm ending this. Jay. Her heart seized. She threw on clothes. Ran to find Tae Sung. He was in the main room. Calm. Too calm. Where is he? Gone. Took a strike team. They're finishing Black Titan's leadership tonight. Alone? He wanted to keep you safe. Something in his voice snagged her attention. That same tone from before. When she'd blamed Chen. Satisfied. Relieved. And suddenly, the pieces clicked. The attack on the safe house. The leaked locations. The way Tae Sung always survived when others died. Chen wasn't the traitor. Tae Sung was. Oh God, she breathed. It's not Chen. It's you. Tae Sung's smile vanished. His hand moved toward his gun. You're smarter than I gave you credit for. Tae Sung pulled his gun. Aimed it at Zola's chest. You should have stayed in that bed, he said. Would have been easier for everyone. Zola's heart pounded. But she didn't run. Couldn't run. Not with Amani somewhere in this building. Why? She demanded. Jun-ho trusted you. He trusted me? Tae Sung laughed. Cold. Bitter. He kept me in his shadow for 10 years. I built half this empire. And for what? To watch him throw it away over a dead sister? Su Min is gone. Has been gone. But he can't let go. Can't move forward. Tae Sung stepped closer. And now? Now he's making decisions with his heart instead of his head. Keeping you. Keeping that child. Playing house while our enemies circle. Zola's fists clenched. So you sold him out. I made a deal. Black Titan gets Junho. I get control. Everyone wins. Except him. Except him. The gun didn't waver. Zola's mind raced. She needed time. Needed a weapon. Needed something. There's more, Tae Sung continued. Your ex. Darnell Vincent. Her blood turned to ice. He's been looking for you. Made his own deal with Black Titan leadership. Help take down Baek Ho, and he gets you and the girl. Amani. He was talking about Amani. You gave us to him. I gave him a location. What happens after that isn't my concern. Rage exploded in Zola's chest. White hot. Blinding. She's 5 years old. And you're a loose end. Both of you. He raised the gun higher. Finger moving toward the trigger. Then, Mommy? Small voice. Doorway behind Tae Sung. Amani stood there, blanket in her arms, eyes wide with confusion. Tae Sung turned his head. Just for a second, Zola moved. She grabbed a metal pipe from the floor. Swung hard. Connected with his wrist. The gun clattered away. Tae Sung recovered fast. Too fast. His fist caught her jaw. She stumbled. Tasted blood. But she didn't stop. She kicked. Scratched. Bit. Fought like the mother she was. Like the survivor she'd always been. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't skilled. But it was enough. Tae Sung shoved her backward. Retrieved his gun. But he was bleeding now too. And Amani was screaming. This isn't over, he spat. Junho dies tonight. And you'll follow. He ran. Needed to be at the ambush site. Needed to see his plan through. Zola grabbed Amani. Held her tight. Are you hurt, baby? Mommy, your face. I'm okay. We're okay. But they weren't. Junho was walking into a trap. And she was the only one who knew. She found keys to one of the vehicles. Strapped Amani into the backseat. Started driving toward the location she'd overheard. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered anyway. Darnell's voice slithered through the speaker. I heard you're coming to me, baby. Can't wait to see our daughter. She looks just like you. Zola's grip tightened on the wheel. Touch her and I'll kill you myself. He laughed. There's my girl. See you soon. The line went dead. Zola pressed the accelerator harder. 5 years she'd been running from this man. Tonight, she was running straight toward him. The factory sat at the edge of the city like a rotting corpse. Broken windows. Rusted walls. Black Titan vehicles surrounding it like vultures. Zola parked 2 blocks away. Turned to Amani in the backseat. Listen to me, baby. Stay here. Lock the doors. Don't open them for anyone except me or Junho. Understand? Amani's lip trembled. Mommy, I'm scared. I know. I'm scared too. But I have to help someone who helped us. The Dragon Man? Zola's throat tightened. Yeah, the Dragon Man. She kissed her daughter's forehead. Left the car. Started walking toward the gunfire. Inside, it was chaos. Bodies on the ground. Smoke in the air. Muzzle flashes lighting up the darkness like lightning. Junho was alive. Barely. Pinned behind a concrete pillar. Bleeding from his arm. Outnumbered 6 to 1. Fighting like a man with nothing to lose. Zola grabbed a fallen pipe. Her second weapon tonight. She moved through the shadows. Found an angle. Waited. When one of Black Titan's men turned his back, she swung. He dropped. Junho's eyes found hers across the chaos. Shock. Then something else. Pride. You shouldn't be here, he shouted. Too late. She ducked behind cover beside him. Tae Sung set you up. He's the traitor. I know. Figured it out when 20 men were waiting for us. He fired twice. 2 more down. Where's Amani? Safe. In the car. Then let's finish this. Together, they pushed forward. Her watching his blind spots. Him covering her movements. Not trained partners. Just 2 people who refused to let the other die. The last of Black Titan's men fell. Silence. Then footsteps. Slow. Deliberate. Darnell stepped out of the shadows. Same smile she remembered. Same dead eyes. Prison had made him leaner. Meaner. But underneath, he was the same small man who needed to hurt women to feel powerful. There's my girl, he said. Came all this way just for me. Junho stepped forward. Put himself between them. She's not yours. She's the mother of my child. That makes her mine forever. Amani doesn't know your face. Zola moved beside Junho. Not behind him. Beside him. Doesn't know your voice. You're nothing to her. Darnell's smile cracked. I'll fix that. No, you won't. She stepped closer. 5 years of fear burning away like paper. You used to terrify me. Made me feel small, weak, trapped. Her voice steadied. But I've seen real monsters now. I've loved one. And you? She almost laughed. You're just a coward who hits women because he can't handle being nothing. Darnell lunged. The fight lasted seconds. Jun-ho moved like water. Like death. Even wounded, even exhausted, he was faster. Stronger. More lethal. Darnell hit the concrete. Broken. Bleeding. Beaten. Kill me, he spat at Zola. If he doesn't, I'll keep coming. You know I will. She did know, but she looked at Jun-ho. Shook her head. Call the police. I'll testify. About the murder. The alibi. Everything. You'll face charges. Maybe. But Amani will know her mother told the truth. That matters more than hiding. Jun-ho's expression shifted. Softened. I already called the FBI, he said quietly. Before I left this morning. Made a deal. Names. Routes. Accounts. Everything. Why? Because I knew I might not survive. And I needed you protected either way. Sirens wailed in the distance. Getting closer. FBI swarmed the building within minutes. Took Darnell. Took Black Titan's leadership. Took Tae Sung's body, he'd died in the crossfire. And they took Jun-ho. He went willingly, hands raised, no fight left. As they led him toward the car, he looked back at her. Wait for me, he said. How long? However long it takes. The door closed. The car drove away. And Zola stood in the wreckage, alone, with no idea if she'd ever see him again. 8 months later. Charlotte, North Carolina. New city. New apartment. New life. Zola stood at her kitchen window, watching Amani chase butterflies in the backyard. First grade had been good to her. She laughed more now. Slept through the night. Stopped flinching at loud noises. Some wounds take time, but they do heal. Zola had testified at Darnell's trial. Told the truth about the murder she'd helped cover up. The judge gave her probation, acknowledging the abuse, acknowledging her cooperation. Her mother Denise had flown in from Detroit. Held her hand through the whole thing. Forgave her for the lies. Moved to Charlotte to be close. For the first time in 5 years, Zola wasn't running. But she was still waiting. No word from Jun-ho. No letters. No calls. Witness protection meant no contact. She understood. She accepted it. That didn't stop her from checking the news every day. Hoping. Wondering. Missing him in ways she couldn't explain. Amani still drew dragons. Purple ones. Red ones. Dragons with scars on their backs and kind eyes. She kept them in a folder under her bed. For when he comes back, she'd said. Zola didn't have the heart to tell her he might not. Tonight was quiet. Amani was asleep. The house was still. Zola sat on the porch, watching stars she'd never noticed in Atlanta. Headlights appeared at the end of the street. A car she didn't recognize. Dark. Slow. Pulling into her driveway. Her heart stopped. A man stepped out. Different haircut. Clean shaven. Jeans and a simple jacket instead of sharp suits. But the same eyes. The same way he looked at her like she was the only thing that mattered. Jun-ho. Zola stood. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't move. He walked toward her. Stopped at the bottom of the porch steps. You're alive, she whispered. Witness protection. The man I was is legally dead. Then who are you now? He almost smiled. Almost. I don't know yet. I was hoping you'd help me figure that out. Tears burned her eyes. 8 months. Not a word. I couldn't. Protocol. But I thought about you every day. Both of you. I thought you were gone forever. I almost was. He climbed one step. Then another. But I made a promise. In a warehouse. Over a sleeping child. I said I'd let you remind me who I was before the war. I remember. I'm here to collect. She laughed. Cried. Pulled him close. Kissed him like 8 months hadn't passed. Like no time had passed at all. When they broke apart, he pressed his forehead to hers. I have conditions, she said. Name them. No more blood. No more secrets. No more war. Done. And you have to learn to cook. I'm not doing it alone. I can learn. Amani picks the movies on Fridays. Non-negotiable. Morning came soft and golden. Amani wandered into the kitchen. Rubbed her eyes. Froze. Jun-ho stood at the stove. Pancakes burning. Smoke rising. Looking completely lost. But alive. Here. Real. Amani didn't scream, didn't cry. She ran across the room and wrapped her arms around his waist. I knew you'd come back, she said. How? Because dragons always come home. Jun-ho knelt down, hugged her tight, and over her shoulder, his eyes found Zola's. Full, grateful, finally at peace. Zola watched them from the doorway. She'd spent 5 years running from monsters. She never expected to find home in the arms of one. But here, in this kitchen, with burnt pancakes and her daughter's laughter and a man who'd burned down his entire world just to build something new, Zola finally stopped running, and started living. She opened the wrong door, found a monster, fell in love with him anyway. And now? They're home. If this story made you feel something, share it. Send it to someone who needs to believe that broken people can still find their way back to each other. Subscribe for more stories that prove love can grow in the darkest places. And drop a comment. What part hit you the hardest? I want to know. Thank you for staying until the end. You're part of this story now.